Hi there, Taurus. Thank you for joining me for your monthly forecast for July. Communications are important for all of us every day, not least in this world of fast-moving exchanges. And it's going to be very important this month for you to be really astute about the way you get your point of view across. And the story begins in week 1 when the Sun is clashing with Pluto. Now, when these two get together, it can mean that we encounter somebody who tries to dominate us in some kind of way or stop us from fulfilling our true potential. So if you do have a conversation with someone who seems to want to get the upper hand over you in the first few days of this month, the knowledge of this aspect is going to help to prepare you for the debate. And one of the important things is to understand your own motivations. Are you trying to dominate someone else, for example? Or is it really important that you're always right? If that is your kind of nature, then this particular aspect can bring this out. If you see yourself as a much more humble type of Taurus, this aspect can help you to articulate your point of view in a much more authentic and perhaps even more passionate kind of way, and that may be a really good thing. But then from the 5th to the 11th, the Sun is going to be clashing with Uranus, and this suggests that something can come out into the open that perhaps you've been keener to keep a little bit closer to your chest. And it could come about in quite an unexpected way. Some kind of revelation is in the works, and it could even be you who is rather surprised when you do let this slip. But you know, if something does come out that has been a bit hush-hush in the past, try to be philosophical about it. It actually might be a burden off your shoulders. And although somebody else may be surprised, once you've talked it all through, they'll be much clearer about some issues that you've been keeping close to yourself, which perhaps have been making you feel restless or a little bit unhappy or giving you a few sleepless nights. But in the early parts of this month, your ruling planet Venus is unquestionably forging a wonderful link with Mars. In fact, for the first couple of weeks, broadly, the two are cooperating wonderfully well. Mars continues in the part of your scope to do with practicality, so work, money, finance, stuff that you need to be really mindful of the detail. Whereas Venus is in the part of your scope to do with neat cash and also the good things in life. So if you are someone who wants to get beach fit for a holiday, you may find that your resolve is going to be tempted, because when Venus and Mars get together, our desire to enjoy the good things in life is certainly increased. However, if you are wanting to be more pragmatic and really make hay while the sun shines in terms of improving your financial lot, then certainly Mercury up until the 13th, the first couple of weeks, is going to help you to do this. Now, there is a full moon which occurs on the 13th too, and this full moon for you, again, is emphasising contracts, travel and communication. And also on the same day, Mercury relocates and it shifts into the next sign up from Gemini, which is Cancer, which for you generally can actually be quite a good thing. But it is itself going to be at the start of week 3 going into opposition with Pluto. Now, people who have Mercury opposite Pluto in their natal charts can often be really quite hard going. These are people who always think they're right, and until they master that particular aspect, it can actually make them rather dull to be around, because their inability to hear other ideas can make them very, very stuck in their ways. And it's important, therefore, that even if you do feel strongly about something, that you're still retaining an openness to outside influences. Remember, for most of us, technology didn't really exist in any great way 10, 15, 20 years ago. It's transformed the way we all live, even if you don't have a computer, but you do have a sat-nav in your car. So it is important that you keep a little bit of wiggle room and flexibility in your approach. Now, Venus is going to be moving on the 18th. Now, Venus moving into the 3rd house can be very seductive, because people can be caught up on how we say things, or even how we write things down, or even sing things. And there may be someone who could get caught up in your magical smell before the end of the month. But if you do find yourself chatting to someone, particularly in week 4, and there is a real mesmeric connection between you, it is going to be important to think, is there some kind of catch here? Is the other person in it because they really respect and like me? Or is it purely a more lusty kind of connection? It's entirely possible. Now on the 20th, Saturn, the planet of structure but also of restriction, which has been twisting backwards for you for 5.5 months in your sector of relationships, making it a little bit more serious going, heavier going, well, that starts to go forwards, which can bring a sigh of relief. And then Mars ends a very, very long transit in your 6th solar house, and then moves on the 26th into Scorpio 2, joining up with Saturn. So I think the end of this month can see you being much feistier about what you want from relationships, which generally can be a good thing. But there is, for much of this month, from the 11th, a square which goes on between the Sun and Mars. Now, it's going to move signs. Both planets are moving signs. The Sun's going to be moving into your home zone on the 22nd. But what I would say to you is that this could create quite a lot of tension if you get too bound up in the whole issue of those exchanges of ideas. And I think doing some gentle exercises, some stretching, some walking, some swimming, cycling, can be very good, and it can also help you to unwind. And also, if you can give yourself some space from any technology before you go to bed, I think that will be very helpful too. But generally, I do feel that your adrenal system could be quite revved up at times. So do try, especially from the 22nd, to give yourself permission to have a few moments of peace and tranquility. This is going to be particularly important because from the 16th, Jupiter, the planet of fortune and expansion, moves into your home zone. It's going to be here for the next year. If you wanted a new addition to the family, even if it's not you personally, but perhaps through an offspring, or you want to change your home, improve it, or even move altogether, the following 12 months can turn out to be profoundly fortunate, as long as you're proactive. Don't sit on your hands. Jupiter can give us random pieces of luck, but much more usually it's proactive for us when we're go-getting and progressive. But right at the end of this month, as it does combine with the Sun, I do feel that there could be a slice of family news which really can cheer and delight you. It's been a fantastic pleasure being with you. Thank you for joining me. Good luck and goodbye for now.